And welcome everyone to the Tech Club. Today is April 21st, 2013. I am Jason.
I am Mish. It is a brisk 30 degrees in the mountains
of Southwest Virginia. Yes, this time last Sunday, it was probably around 50.
Yeah.
So
and this early in the morning.
Come through. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, hopefully it'll warm up again. Of course, this is the Tech Club, as I mentioned. On today's show, we've kind of heard some of our news highlights. We're also going to be talking about the House passing of the CISPA bill and how that affects you. The whole nation was glued to Boston. They have a tendency of doing this. Mm-hmm. And then our main topic is social media. And actually, I think even in the last week, social media, specifically Twitter, has actually shown how the mainstream media can't even keep up.
Yes.
How you would get your real data, your real news from social media, and we're going to show you what to watch out for and how to protect yourself against it and how to know what's real and what's not. But first, a couple highlights in the news. Google forbids users from reselling the Google glasses.
Or even just loaning them out to a friend or somebody.
Apparently that is in the agreement that when you buy their glasses, not you buy their glasses, is $1,500. But the terms of service does say you may not resell, loan, transfer, or give your device to any other person. If you resell, loan, transfer, or give your device to another person without Google's authorization, Google reserves the right to deactivate the device, and neither you nor the unauthorized person using the device will be entitled to any refund, product support, or product warranty. And of course, with Google Glasses, these are the glasses that will monitor, has a camera in it, and has a link up to the internet, and you can, as you're looking at anything, Google is taking that information in, and you can actually see it in like a heads-up display. You're looking at, just for example, you're looking at, you're at the mall, and it'll pop up to display the sales, coupons, and, even social media stuff, so. That's one of the first ones I've seen like that.
Yeah, because it messes up their database, because you're Joe Schmo and Mary Mo, that's an odd name. Mary Mo is going out and she's looking at panties, and they're like, wait, that messes up our database.
Right, so they'll know right away if you've given your glasses to somebody else,
or you've completely weird. Let's see, the thousands petition Verizon to nix wireless contracts. We talked about it before, but with the T-Mobile, how basically they're selling the iPhone 5 with no contract, because what you do is you put money down and you just pay for it over a certain amount of time. So a lot of them are doing that. So that's our first break. We'll be right back.
And welcome back here at the Tech Club. I am Jason, and I started talking before Mish did, so there you go.
You just cut me off. You're such a Connecticut person.
Also wanted to mention that it'll be up probably later today. We're starting a weekly poll on the website, which will coincide with our topic. So maybe by tomorrow, go to our website, which I didn't mention yet, which was www.smc.io. That's smc.io. And there'll be a link for a weekly poll in the upper right-hand corner. Go ahead and click on it. We want to know your thoughts, and we'll go over the results the following week. That is our website. You can, the bottom half of the hour, you can give us a call here on the show at 800-313-9443. You can email us at help@smc.io. On our website, you will see the links there to our Twitter page, Google Plus, and YouTube. The neat, nice thing about YouTube is you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and these shows are put up relatively soon. And as soon as they're uploaded to YouTube, you'll get emailed the link spots, and you can just go ahead and click on that and download that and watch it anytime you want. One thing I wanted to go over was while we were all listening to the Boston Marathon fiasco last week, I think it was Wednesday, the House passed, no, it was Thursday actually.
Oh, right.
We were on the air with our show. It was Thursday afternoon. The House had passed the CISPA bill, which stands for
Cyber Intelligence
Protection Act.
Protection Act, yes.
Cyber Intelligence Sharing and Protection Act.
Yeah.
Now, we'll spend a few minutes on this before we get to our topic, because I think it's actually very important, because
it relates to the topic almost.
Yeah. This is a cyber security bill, which somewhat differs in the other bills that the House and Senate attempted to propose last year, which was the SOPA and PIPA Acts, respectively. Those were more of copyright infringement bills where, say for example, how the bills read. Say for example, you uploaded...
Like our show, the Leonard Skinner show, song. We uploaded that to YouTube. And they got caught, of course. YouTube, the government would have the right to take all of YouTube down, not just our little video. The entire site would be down, which got a lot of people upset, because with that kind of writing, I mean Facebook, I mean somebody put something that was anti-whatever, it would be like, yep. Yeah.
Because, you know, how YouTube works right now is you kind of get a heads up where, you know, your video potentially could be a copyright infringement. You can take care of that.
Yep.
But, you know, if people posting anything they want on Facebook or Twitter or, you know, any one of the photo sharing sites like Instagram and stuff like that,
all of them,
they could easily be brought down by the government just because of one person. So obviously the companies didn't like it, and a lot of them had decided on a particular day, which I forget right now, that they were kind of going to go black, meaning they were going to bring their websites down to bring attention to that these two bills were going to be voted on in the next few days. We were part of that. You know, Wikipedia was down, Reddit was down, even Amazon and Google, while they weren't down, when you went to their site, they brought up a message about what was happening, which brought a lot of people, especially with Wikipedia and Google, brought a lot of people's attention around, and, you know, was asked to contact their representatives, which they did, and it obviously failed. In fact, you know, a lot of people in the government were upset, including, you know, even House Chris Dodd, who is now the spokesperson for the MPAA, was extremely upset and whatever.
Oh, big whooping do if he's upset.
The difference now with the CISPA Act is that it's a cybersecurity bill. So what this basically will allow is the sharing of internet traffic from an ISP or from an ISP or internet service provider, or even from an internet technology company with the government, and they're not going to be afraid of any of the normally sharing information, you know, is against the law unless it gets like a search warrant from the government. Well, the government doesn't need a search warrant now, and even the company, this could be Facebook, this could be YouTube, this could be your Comcast ISP provider, Usenet, anyone could see something that they feel may be an issue, and they can send it right out over to the government.
Which is actually, all this is against the law, because the Fourth Amendment protects your your privacy with regard to that.
Right.
I wonder how many people actually read the Bill of Rights. Because most people don't realize that the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, I think there's, how many amendments? There's 6 amendments. Okay, I'm sorry. 10 amendments. There's 11 through 27, but they're mostly about, stuff with regard to Washington, D.C. But the first 5 amendments are very important to everybody. None of those. And plus, the thing that's how the Constitution and the Bill of Rights were written is that these are rights that no person can take away. They're God-given rights. They're just legalizing the paperwork of it, saying this is you have the right to say whatever you want. You have the right to have a gun. Actually, in how the Second Amendment was written, is bear arms. You should have the ability to have, an Apache helicopter if you can afford it. It doesn't say, you're only allowed to have small arms. No, it's arms. It's pretty, because they had larger arms than they had cannons, and people had them. I think they did stuff on Armistice Day, but they would blast cannons. You would privately blast your own cannon. I think that's a French holiday. I can't remember. And then, the Third Amendment, no soldier shall be in peacetime be in the house without consent of the owner. Otherwise known as the militaries that are allowed in the people's homes. And then you have the Fourth Amendment, which is probably not the most important, but is very important, is that you're guaranteed your privacy. I mean, all your stuff, everything is... unless you're in a public place, which is basically have no reasonable assertion of privacy. So if you're on the, Santa Monica Pier and you're walking naked, you have no reasonable assertion of privacy. But if you're walking in your house and if you have 300 acres of land and you're walking naked, that's guaranteed to under the Fourth Amendment. Plus. It's interesting is that there has to be probable cause for a warrant to be done, and a lot of cybersecurity stuff violates that right there because they just do things. They don't even think, I need probable cause. So you actually have to have have to have some evidence to actually then get the warrant. But people need to read the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. It's a good read. Confusing sometimes. You also learn a lot about how originally, because it's been, how's best supposed to say, messed up, that the government doesn't have the right to do anything to you. And actually, I read some articles that people don't even realize that the traffic laws are not some are for the passenger cars, regular people, but most are regarded as to vehicles or to the transportation companies, if you were a truck driver or something like that. That's what, the speed limit, the way stations, the insurance, because you're hauling down the road, 50 tons of, metal, and your shocks are shot. And it's that's not cool, but car is a piece of junk. I mean, it's your responsibility, and if you do something bad, you get liable. But beyond that, you just have to be careful. You can continue. I ranted on for a little while.
Right, that's what our country was founded on. The House, like I said, did pass in the House Thursday, so now it's going to the Senate. I'm not sure exactly when the Senate is going to vote on it, but this was obviously has more support, and there was less kickback on this because it actually worked with the companies. There is no privacy anymore in this. And this actually includes medical information. Mm-hmm. I mean, I thought there was there was HIPAA and all. I mean, they could pass over your medical information, your medical history, the stuff you're searching on. Mm-hmm. Again, it could be anything.
Hello, police state.
It's just not passed to the government, but it's also passed to the offending company or offending copyright holder. So if you're posting something that is possibly, you could even take this as far as, if you're doing a research on some disease, that company could even accidentally, because those processes are going to be in place, could pass that to your healthcare provider and stuff like that.
And then drop you because you're looking up, even though you're just looking up for research purposes.
So you want to check out EFF.org for more information on this to follow up. So break.
Just coming back now. I had to hit a button. Whoops. Welcome back to the Tech Club. I am Nish. I didn't hit a button, and nobody heard me. We were talking about CISPA and the basically how you want to contact the contact your representatives, your senators, and go to EFF.org to basically get stopped.
Yeah, the EFF. EFF.org is the site. That's E as in Echo, F as in Frank, F and Frank.org. That's the Electronic Frontier Foundation. They're adamant about privacy issues when it comes to technology. The first article is, of course, that the CISA passes in the House and it moves over to the Senate. So definitely follow up with that, because it's definitely in the cyber realm. With this bill, you're going to lose a lot of your rights without people realizing it. Which sort of kind of leads into our topic, which is, social media.
Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, Foursquare, if they still exist. I haven't kept up on it. Let's see, who else is out there? Tumblr.
There's LinkedIn.
Even actually YouTube is considered a social media network.
Right. So, of course, social media is a service that allows you to, in a way, be social. Probably the first real big one was MySpace.
Yes.
And the story shows how in the tech world, how things can move at the speed of light. How one day, for example, MySpace can be huge, have hundreds of millions of users, and then literally the next week, following week, they've got none compared to Facebook. It is moves fast.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, Facebook and Twitter is what we'll really highlight on this one, but there are others that get into each other. I think it's just, there's obviously pros and cons to this. Obviously, these specifically Facebook, they make money on information about you. And that's the bottom line. So the more information they have about you, the more money they can make. They pass that information on to advertisers. They data mine. They mine that data that they have. Now keep in mind, Facebook does have over, I think it's at this point, like over 850 million users, almost 1 billion users, and over half of those, I believe, are active users, which means they check in on Facebook at least once a day. The joke is, of course, with social media, you find out what the person had for lunch, what they're doing for the afternoon.
Which most people do not care for.
And yes, that is out there. I actually find that more on Facebook than Twitter.
Twitter's more either stupid jokes, spamming somebody, hey, hey, welcome here, check out our thing or whatnot, and or just news articles. Actually, just saw something fall out of the sky, checking it out.
Right.
Back with you later.
The with Facebook, you can post pretty much anything: videos, articles, your own content, and yes, it does get the word out. In fact, going back to the SOPA and the PIPA bills from last year, one of the ways it was passed, once somebody has information, they can easily post it on Facebook, because whether it's on the computer or whether it's on your smartphone, so it could be posted within moments, and then that could be passed or shared, I should say, to other folks. So if I see a post, for example, how it works is, if Mish posts something on his timeline or his wall, and I like it, I could comment on it, I could share it, or I could like it. Now,
or debunk it. Say that the sky is red and he looks outside, it's blue, and he lives next door to me. Yeah, you're full of it.
When I do any one of those things, the who are my Facebook friends will then see I've commented, or I liked it, or I shared it. And then, of course, it just snowballs after that. So, information can be passed extremely quickly on these social media sites, like with Facebook, even with Twitter. Twitter is a little different in that it's almost a micro social media site, meaning it's small bits. In fact, a tweet can only be
124?
I think 140 characters long. So you have to shorten everything, but that's where you really can get your information from, which when we come back from the break, we'll continue going over. Welcome back here in the Tech Club, here in the RBN Network.
I hit the right button this time.
Awesome.
At the right time.
Today is April 21st. You can give us a call if you'd like. Here on the network, we're 800-313-9443.
We actually learned it.
Our website is www.smc.io, where you can find links to email us. Also on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and Google Plus. We were talking about social media beforehand. It's kind of going over little differences between. The two big ones right now really is Facebook and Twitter, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Twitter again is a sort of a micro blogging or micro social media site where what you do is you follow companies or individuals who send out tweets. And like I said earlier before the break, yes, the joke around about social media is, I had a hot dog for lunch and stuff like that. I actually see that more of that on Facebook than Twitter, because what I use Twitter for is really for a news
aggregator.
Exactly, a news aggregation.
I use the big
service.
Aggregator.
And that's actually how, with Boston Marathon bombings and catching the suspect and stuff like that, I actually followed it on Twitter instead of on the TV.
Yeah, because you actually get more information.
You usually get more information. Yes, anybody can post anything, because once you're on Twitter, and you have a Twitter account, you follow somebody and they tweet something, you can retweet it, as they say, with either a comment or just simply retweet it. So, your Twitter feed could be rather large, especially if something huge is going on. But one of the first things is you usually find out something right away within moments of it happening on Twitter.
Yeah, like you get a lot of confirmations.
whether the Texas blast, again, I was following that on Twitter. In fact, I heard that cable news networks weren't even covering it. So you find something, if a website is down, if an earthquake happens,
you kind of notice. Apparently,
right.
News people were sleeping.
They, you find out about it relatively quickly there. You also get more information. A number of years ago, Twitter added the ability to add video and photos to tweets. So you can instantly get photos and tweets. For example, during the manhunt for the second suspect on Friday, when everybody was illegally locked into their homes, people were tweeting photographs of what was happening.
All the Hummers outside. Actually, there were some people that were doing videos of the shootouts.
Right, and you saw that right away. The moments people would retweet, and it just, again, snowballs over.
Exactly.
So that's where I think Twitter can come into play. For example, you could follow us on Twitter, and we usually send a reminder that we're going on the air. We're also, our video has been uploaded to YouTube. So it's handy. Companies will post. There's a sale going on at our stores. Use this Twitter code for an extra 10% savings and type of things. And you'll see that little link on their website or even online, not online, on TV. It looks like a little bird.
And they're not giving you the bird.
Right, and
the bird is the word.
Uh-huh.
It's the whole song. Bird is the word.
Twitter does sort of have a funny bone to them. They went down, I don't know, I think it was last week for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, something like that, something small. But they went down, and on their homepage, they of course tweeted it, but it didn't go out. But on their webpage, they said, don't panic, the world is not ending. They are having system issues. Go outside and get some fresh air. Anyhow, so that's Twitter. In Twitter and Facebook can be LinkedIn. I chose about to choose the words because there is a service called LinkedIn. LinkedIn is really the professional version of Facebook.
It's actually more along the lines of what Facebook started out to be, a little more professional, because Facebook was for college people, except for the people, drunk in frat parties. It was generally more respectable. There wasn't stupid games of, would you feed my cows? Because my cows need fed, and I apparently am not OCD enough to micromanage it down to a degree. But LinkedIn, it's more for connections for business. Basically, this is where you put your resume. I know this person. He knows me. He gave me a good thing, and you can actually see where they've been in their life, what kind of losers they are, or not.
You can endorse folks, so specifically people who are looking for a job, or you have a job. You can. What's good is have a LinkedIn profile, a page.
Use it.
And as you add folks, if something happens in the future, you get laid off or whatever, you have this large base of other corporate folks
that you can burn bridges with.
Or send information to, and you can also endorse folks. You can
get a new job very quickly.
Right. So, and you won't see any of that. Posting of I had a hot dog for lunch and type of thing.
Which
is more
awesome.
It's professional. Of course, I'm a member of a number of computer groups. They just post back and forth. They've got questions. If somebody has a question about this, they have a problem with a computer, what should they do? Or, how much should they charge and stuff like that. And, you're talking with your peers.
So you're not, saying, what up?
And it's all over the world. There's, for example, that Computer Association group, you got technicians from all over the world. So you're not getting opinions from America, you're getting opinions from, I think it's one guy in Ireland. He has a computer repair shop in Ireland. And, it's interesting to note how, all over the folk, Yeah, as an example, thought we had a break coming up, but
soon, very soon.
We, it's no surprise, like any industry, the computer industry did slow down. And of course, you think it's you. What are you doing wrong? But talking with folks on there, it was all over the world. And in fact, it came down to really the same day, the same week. If we experienced a slowdown for a particular week, you notice that it was actually all across the country. And then if we picked up, they picked up. So it was a trend. Mm-hmm. So it's nice talking to your peers. And that's what LinkedIn is. It's LinkedIn.com, which I will put on, which I forgot to mention, is our show notes on our website, smc.io. If you click on shows,
you can find today's show.
You'll find all the links that we reference, the Facebook and Twitter, but also the news. I apologize that we were having some technical difficulties. As I was mentioning before our unscheduled break, we were talking about social media, how LinkedIn is a professional social media site. I do recommend joining that if you have a small business, especially if you have a small business, because small businesses, you as an owner like that, you have a lot to learn, and you're not the only one out there in that same field, whether it's a company across town or across the state or across the country. Or across the world. So it's nice getting other people's opinions and getting their help and stuff like that. Twitter, I do recommend Twitter because you can follow news really quickly.
And you can even set it to, it's actually automatically, if you're doing it from a mobile device, it will actually text you your tweets. So like during the Sandy and the Irene fiascos that was in the Northeast with the Superstorm Sandy, I actually set mine to send me weather updates, hurricane updates directly to my phone, because if I ever lost internet, and I did many times in power, I was like, I can still find out what's going on, and I can keep track of stuff. And so like same kind of thing with like say like a 9/11 occurs, and I'm doing finger quotes in my sleeves, or the Boston Marathon. You can actually go to the breaking news. You can go to somebody that that is in the area. You can have them tweets go straight to your phone, so you're out and about, and you can just gain text pretty much every second, which I did. It is kind of cool. But one of the things we should mention before their next either scheduled or unscheduled break, privacy is an issue, so you do want to be careful what you do say.
Yeah, the privacy is more of an issue, I'd say, with Facebook, because as I started out with, Facebook makes money off the information about you. Twitter, LinkedIn, not really, but it's all business related. The Twitter doesn't really. In fact, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. To this date, I don't think Twitter has made money, because they're actually trying to figure out how to make money.
Yes.
Yeah, they have some sponsored tweets, and I think that is helping. But it's sort of a hard platform to make money off of.
I think what they do is they make money more on the. They don't make money. They make enough money to pay people, but they actually don't make a profit. As we've talked about, they want to make billions and billions and billions of dollars. They want to be the next, Facebook, but they want to keep it the way they started and not have to add, Zynga Games would be, no offense, retarded. But anyway, so what you want to do is, other than, be careful what you tweet in Facebook, you want to make sure that your settings on each one are set to the secure. So if you go like Facebook, it's under, let's see if I remember, accounts, privacy and security, and you want to make sure that it's an SSL connection, which means that you are encrypted. So when you do tell people that you had a hot dog, it's not encrypted, so people can't see that. Same basically in Twitter. I don't remember where it is. I think it's under account and settings there too. Most of them are on by default, but if you have an older account, it won't turn on, so you have to actually turn it on. Also, don't tweet things that will get you majorly in trouble, or Facebook things. Like if you don't tweet your address, don't tweet you can tweet your email address, but I wouldn't.
Well, Twitter does have, and I think Facebook as well, when you tweet or Facebook something, it can add your location to that tweet and Facebook post. So you want to turn that off.
Mm-hmm. Location services below, because it does actually. If you upload directly to the Facebook app from the iPhone, or I think even my Windows Phone had it too, your location gets uploaded to it. So the picture actually then says, "Oh, he was in blah blah blah."
It gives you a map of where the person was located. So
kind of annoying.
So only that it was Twitter. You do have the option to protect your tweets.
Mm-hmm.
When a tweet is protected, that means nobody can retweet your tweet. And that'd be something you want to do. If you tweet a picture of a meteorite you saw, nobody can retweet that. So that's one setting that within the privacy you actually may want to turn off or make sure it's not turned on.
Depending on what you're tweeting.
Right.
But, basically we've talked about before, but I'm not on this show on this network, but it's hard to remember what I talk a lot. You want to just be careful of what you say. I mean, is telling people that you're going on a 3-week vacation a smart idea? Because when you go on vacation and people rob you blind, you may have been right.
Right, there's been news stories where somebody has put on Facebook, they're in Hawaii or wherever it was, and then their house was broken into. I know we have a caller in queue, but we do have a break coming up in a minute. We will get you after the break. The one thing with Facebook, as I mentioned, they make money off of the information about you. What you need to do is some things you have to realize is, like, for example, those apps. They're called apps, those games, Farmville and
Yoville and
whatever, or any one of those games. Any app, actually, picture of the day. When you authorize an app access to your profile, that's exactly what they're doing. They're getting access to your profile, everything about you, including the pictures you've posted and your posts and all that. But what I also will have access to is your friends' profiles.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep that in mind when you authorize an app. So let's say a friend has posted on their app, their wall, friend likes the photo of the day.
Mm-hmm. Click
Click here to view it. Well, when you click there, you'll then attempt to authorize the app on your profile. And if you do that, they have all that information about you, including your friends.
Very subversive, almost.
You can go in under the settings. I believe it's the privacy settings. There's a section there for apps, and you're going to see all the apps that you've authorized. You can remove those.
I did that.
Doing that.
We'll be right back after this.
Tech Club. April 21st. We were talking social media stuff in CISPA. We do have a caller on hold. James from Pennsylvania, welcome to the show.
Greetings, gentlemen.
Hello.
How can we help?
Okay, you can hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay,
yes, we can hear you.
I love your program. It's really good. You come up with a lot of good solutions with these technical applications. I mean, I'm an aware activist, and I utilize the information on the Internet, you know, like in Facebook and stuff that's just like topically what you're talking about. And there's so many things, ways that we can reach out to one another and communicate. For example, here's a prime example. Are you aware of the show host, the Bob Tuskin show that's on RBN? And, you know, he's got a chat room, listen live chat application on with the streaming podcast thing of a button to click on to listen, you know, to RBN. And I don't know, a lot of people don't seem like they're aware of that, you know, and it's really a good thing to have, a good way to listen to RBN, just straight through the, you know, the Listen Live Online, the Republic feed, and it's, you know, it's kind of good, you know, and it's like, you know, I'm working with the silvertour.org, which is educating seniors on the positive benefits of medicinal marijuana, and I think it's, you know, it's good to have various avenues to communicate, because without communication, we can't amass the knowledge that we have and access our knowledge base and share the truth with others, you know, and I think that's, you know, something that everybody should, you know, kind of, I like to put a little plug in for the Bob Tuskin, having him put that Listen Live and Chat segment on the web there on Republic. It's really good, and I appreciate everything.
Absolutely. All right, well, thank you for the call. I appreciate it, and you're absolutely right. And I hope no one got the wrong impression from us. We actually like or endorse and think Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and all of these is actually a good thing. This is actually, I know we're running out of time, but this is actually some of the things that helped investigate some of these bombings and stuff like that. It allows everybody to become a quote-unquote reporter or a source of information. Yes, you do have to vet whether that information is correct or not, but
if you have a picture of a guy with all these guys with backpacks and they look kind of shady, it's like, yeah, you may want to look at this guy.
And I know that's something that, to be honest with you, my personal opinion, I know the government and all these what we call the lamestream media are afraid of, because it's getting, you know, their job is almost at risk.
I like how the FBI guy said, these are the only images that you should find credible. Anything else is not credible because we're the FBI.
So yes, getting information out on Facebook or Twitter and all that is an awesome idea. I know I actually have personally awakened a few of my friends through Facebook, through a lot of stuff that's happening in this world. So it's definitely a good thing. And we should talk more about this next week.
Yeah. Thanks, James, and everybody have a great weekend.